Oilers Nation After Dark begins now.
Pretty good Saturday night, if you ask me. I know I had fun. A hard-fought battle throughout between two teams that know each other like the back of their hands. It was close until it wasn't, as the Edmonton Oilers, they had a third period to remember, minus that last shorthanded goal against. God damn it, the penalty kill just simply cannot catch a break. But where was that offensive explosion all season long? And I gotta say, did you guys hear that crowd at the end of the game? Let's go Oilers throughout Rogers Arena. Shout out to Captain Felton. Saw on Twitter the droves, that's the word I'm using, droves of Canucks fans walking back up those stairs to have a terrible rest of their Saturday night as the Edmonton Oilers defeat their division rival Vancouver Canucks by a score of 7-3. The over, I told you it was going to cash, and it cashed and then some. Hello and welcome to Oilers Nation After Dark. I'm your host, Aaron Bordato, joined by the bread man, producer Brett Holden behind the scenes, rocking his poppy, looking handsome as shit. I see in the chat right now a couple people in. Mr. Burns, Super Chat. When we win the Super Chats, we tend to make way more money when the Edmonton Oilers win hockey games. Reminder, Super Chat is going to charity, does not go to our beer fund. However, as I always say, if you want to buy me beers, please feel free. Aaron at the Nation Network takes e-transfer. Mr. Burns said I couldn't have asked for a better team for the offense to find their game against. What does that spell? Cup year. That's right. Steven's in. This made me laugh. Bordzy doing the pre-show shotgun to get hyped. Why not mid-show shotgun? Steven, I tell you, we can do what we want. It's Saturday night. Westside Shane's in with the Big Dogs Eat. West Side. Don't do the signal, though. We might get in trouble for that. I don't know. Connor Brown. It's Connor Brown's world. We were just living in it tonight. It was his third period, let me say. And Brett Kulak's. My God, there were so many awesome things that just happened. CB is in. He says, I'll just pull in Austin Matthews and score 5 next game. And Amanda, just a simple, hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. As the Edmonton Oilers, they convincingly defeat the Vancouver Canucks. We talked today. We needed a win straight up the last 2 games. The way you lost to the New Jersey Devils, kind of just out of that one throughout, and then playing well for 59 minutes against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. But Evan Bouchard decides to take a brain fart, and you lose that game. You walk out without 2 points. Tonight, you needed those 2 points, especially in a division game. We've been talking, Brett, about needing production from other sources in the lineup, but we got it from everywhere tonight. We got a 4th line goal from Connor Brown. We got 4th line goal from Corey Perry. Yeah. We got 2 from Connor Brown. We got 1 from Brett Kulak, who is red hot offensively. Brett Kulak stands, take a victory lap, stand up. I should have grabbed my signed Brett Kulak thing over there before I started the show today, but you're going to take offense any way you can get it. Connor McDavid, he gets on the score sheet. Stuart Skinner, he was solid throughout. Brett, that was almost the perfect night of hockey. I tell you, Bush taking that penalty at the end of the game there. And Stu's numbers are going to be considerably shittier. And all the box score hunters out there are going to have that. And the PK, obviously. They had some bad luck this evening. We will discuss that more in the good, bad, oily. But huge pivotal game against the Canucks, Brett. And they stood up tall. And not only was it like arguably their best game of the season, it came in the biggest game of the season.
Yeah, and it's exactly what we wanted to see. We talked about in pre-gaming what we wanted to see from this team, and it was energy. And that was what we saw from this team from the puck drop to the final whistle. It was a really, really good energy type of game, minus those 2 minutes, which we'll talk about later on in that second period. I thought that was a borderline, like you said, almost the perfect game, and the perfect game, I would say, bouncing off of 2 sleepers in the previous 2 games.
Yeah, we needed it. We need an answer. I see some guys in here. Not Howie. Timeout was the moment of the game. Shout out Nobby, man. That was a huge time as you felt the momentum completely flipping. You felt the nerves for the Edmonton Oilers. And Saturday night, downtown Vancouver in Rogers Arena, that crowd wanted to get fired up, and they were finding a way. Also, let me know in the chat, do you guys like the goal song or do you hate the goal song? I know everybody talks about the Canucks goal song. I used to really like the song. Now it's totally ruined it for me. I see also in your psychos, yes, that timeout was key. Rusty, this is why I love you and you're an Oilers fan through and through. Stu's numbers are irrelevant. We scored 7 goals tonight. You're damn right, brother. Couldn't have said that better myself. And then another super chat. EC is in. I saw the Yanmark failed clear and laughed because I knew Tyler would be on Twitter immediately. However, Perry is earning his contract. Go Oilers. Yeah, I mean, the Yanmark one, and we'll get into it later, is how that technically also counts as a shorthanded goal against. This PK is never going to get back to above 60%, 70%. We hope it will happen, but tonight we're not going to focus on any of that. But throughout the game tonight, fast-paced, back and forth, all game long, totally lived up to the hype. I said on pre-gaming I wanted you to buckle up, buckaroo, because it was going to be a big one today. And boy, was I right. The Oil jumped out to their early 3-0 lead, had all the momentum, had Oilers fans in the crowd cheering. Shout out to Oil Nation and all nation citizens and Oilers fans out there, because you were loud, you were proud, and you kind of took over Rogers Arena tonight. But overall, you knew it wasn't going to be easy. This is a team that took us to 7 games last season. And may I remind you, that's our first regular season win against the Vancouver Canucks in the last 2 years. Woo! Stand up, Oiler fans. But quick 2 goals there in that minute 59 from the Canucks, and you go, oh shit, we're back into this one. Of course, it wasn't going to be that easy. Brett, it felt like a playoff game through and through. The pace was incredible. Up and down the ice nonstop. Penalties, power plays, great saves, sprawling saves, paddle saves from Kevin Lankinen. Now, these games stress me out like there's no tomorrow, but damn it, are they fun.
They are so fun. And I think they also go in the favor of the Edmonton Oilers quite often, because this was a run and gun game. This was a game that it was back and forth, errors on both ends, errors in the neutral zone, where we talk about quite often when you play a team like the Dallas Stars. It's a neutral zone type of game. It's a trap type of game, where this game was just back and forth. You're getting opportunities here and there. The amount of times that there was a battle in front of the net and we're going, and just trying to, it was physical. Guys going after guys, stuff before face-offs, not even after whistles, before face-offs.
Yanmark was doing it.
Yeah, to Atu Ratti for whatever reason. It was, yes, a playoff-style type of game. It's a rivalry game that it kind of got off slow, but it was a slow burn that turned into quite the game by the end of it.
I said today, I can't really imagine my adult lifehood until last season that I ever thought of the Vancouver Canucks as a rival of the Edmonton Oilers. I borderline kind of cheered for them when I was a younger kid when they went on their cup run. And it's how crazy things have changed in the last year and a half, whatever you want to say, because I despise this team. I now despise the trolls that are being in the chat. Shockingly, Brett, there are way less Canucks trolls than I thought there was going to be this evening. Suck on that. But where you at, everybody? You're talking, though, about the playoff type atmosphere and how dudes were going at it. It was just a hockey game through and through. Let's talk about it. Vinny Desharnais. He looks great in those jerseys. Say whatever you want about the Canucks, like I just said. Those are sick jerseys. Mm-hmm. But Vincent Desharnais, full on trying to beat the shit out of Connor McDavid in front of the net. There was a scramble in front of the net. If you in the chat can remember this, he just full on tackled Connor while the play was still going on, threw him in a headlock, tried to rip him down. Zach Hyman then jumps on the back of Vinny Desharnais, trying to rip him down. While, as I said, the play is still completely going on. Matthias Ekholm then ripped one on net that I think hit Vinny Desharnais, but it was wild to see Vinny and Connor going back at it. Vinny, we know him. He's got that playoff-style atmosphere, but it was physical throughout. But seeing Vinny try and wrestle Connor McDavid to the ground, Brett, I was not a huge fan.
Hilarious, though.
Yeah, it was.
I think it's funny because obviously you see and know the off the ice type of stuff where Vinny's going to the wedding, all that. And, these are brothers throughout. But once you get on the ice, like there was a moment with Vinny and Derek Ryan behind the net too, where you were like, he doesn't want to hurt Derek.
He doesn't want to hurt him.
But he like comes out and grabs him right in the collar. You're like, it's funny because you
Steven said in the chat, Vinny cross-checking Derek Ryan looks funny.
Yes.
He looked like, I don't want to do this.
Yes, exactly. And you realized it. But Vinny, he was noticeable in those ways too. That was just an hilarious moment with right at the end of the first period, just headlock. As he's going for the headlock, he punches Teddy Bluger in the face, his own teammate. Bluger goes back, shoots back. McDavid's in the headlock. Hyman sees it and he just sheds the stick and he's just on his back. The puck is in the frame. Nobody's going for the puck. Maybe McDavid. Everybody's going for Desharnais. It was a Renaissance painting. It was fantastic. We sat there and went, there was not an ounce of hockey in that moment. It was just it was boys being boys. It was hilarious.
Boys being boys. That is 100% what it was. Just react. I love seeing Hyman come in and defending Connor McDavid there. Mr. Burns, once an Oiler, always an Oiler. A couple people in here. Vinny has balls. I'll give him that. From Percy, not Jackson. Yep, couldn't agree with that. Ryan S. made me laugh. Vinny thinking I made the wrong choice. And then you can tell when we're winning because Mr. Burns says, sorry not to be weirder than usual. I also like how you worded that. But you're looking sharp tonight, Bordzy. Let's go. We're getting compliments on the fit. I did do my hair today, so there we go. We got that. No, hopefully not. Where's Troy as well? You guys don't get that? You guys don't need to get that. It was a great start, though, from the Edmonton Oilers. They came ready to play. I said a lot on pre-gaming that Saturday night in Vancouver, hostile enemy territory, to say the least, that you would need to withstand that first 5-10 minute wave from the Canucks because it would come. And, dude, it was honestly kind of the reverse because the Edmonton Oilers came out guns a-blazing. Now, an early power play opportunity is always good when on the road. Stuart Skinner had a big glove save, not even 5 minutes into the first period. And you're going, okay, all right, I think things are going the right way. There was a certain sense of urgency tonight. I keep mentioning the pace to their game. It was tape to tape, crisp passes. And I don't know, when you know the team you're playing against, this is nothing new for the Edmonton Oilers. They know where to attack this Vancouver Canucks team. But tonight, just felt like it had a different energy, and frankly, they knew that they needed one. The other story coming in tonight was Kevin Lankinen, right? He had insane numbers coming into this one. 7-0-2 in the regular season, had not lost a game in regulation, I guess you could say there. And while to start, I thought he was good. David Quadrilli today on pre-gaming said he's been the key to the Canucks' success. I didn't totally see it this evening. Now, the Edmonton Oilers offense is otherworldly, especially the way it was going tonight, but he didn't look like the .923 save percentage goaltender I was told about all day today. Now, he did make some incredible saves in the third period. He robbed Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with his paddle sprawling out right in front of the net. Felt so bad. Kevin Leekinen for Maynard. Maynard has been on fire today in the pre-gaming chat, and I know he's been dipping into a little bit of the sauce tonight, so continue to let it roll, Maynard. When we win, come on. Win or lose, we booze, but when we win, we super booze. He had a big stop, Lankinen, that was on DR10 on a breakaway. But after that, it all fell apart in the third period. He was yanked with 8:55 left, and the Oilers just continued to pour it on. But like the Brett Kulak goal, as much as I love that, man, that's one of the weakest goals I've ever seen scored. It didn't leave the ice whatsoever. Lankinen saw it 100% of the way and just went past his 5-hole total. He made 20 saves on 27 shots for a .741 save percentage. Now, he has been good this season, but the moral of the story, I'm going to say, is the Edmonton Oilers offense is back. But, Brett, you needed a get-right game. Mr. Burns had mentioned it. Couldn't really pick a better team for it to happen against. And coming into tonight, we know the Oilers have been goalied before. Archer Shelovs in the playoffs had been goaling us last season. And you look at Lankinen's numbers, a little nervous, but tonight, pedestrian at best.
Well, and it's exactly what Edmonton needed. We've seen the last couple of games where opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, the pod calls and wide open opportunity against the Devils. We can go down a laundry list of chances where Edmonton, we sat there and went, wow, I thought that was going to go in. Tonight was one of those nights where those pucks were finally going in. We talked about puck luck where that the second goal, I believe
the fourth
it was.
line, it just went off the stanchion and right back to Derek Ryan.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's puck luck. Same thing as what happened in the last game as well. Right off a screw on the dasher board or whatever it may have been. You're finding ways to now capitalize on those chances that weren't going in earlier in the year, and now they are. So maybe now we're starting to see the turning of the tide of what this team can potentially be.
And that's such a confidence builder. As we know, we went 0-4 against the Canucks last season in the regular season, and that's why Game 7 was played at Rogers Arena and not at Rogers Place. And you got to think a couple of these battles throughout the year. The next one won't come until January 13th, I think. So they are a little bit evenly spaced out. Better than last year when we played them 3 times before we had relieved head coach Jay Woodcroft of his coaching duties. I'm trying to stop saying we fired Jay Woodcroft.
Sensitive.
Because I love him and I feel bad for him. Loyal to Oils in says 3-point night for Yanni. And then our boy Waz is in and he says, boys, I told you we need to see Janmark on the top line. 3-point night tonight. Hey, you got to give him credit where credit's due, not to Waz, to Matthias Janmark, but also Janmark. That Philip Perona goal that got him back in the game was the play he had the other game where he just straight up threw the puck over the glass for no reason with tons of space in front of him. But as you will see on this play here, is Janmark is kind of untouched and alone. Here he is, plenty of time and space, too much time and space. How do you do that? I don't even know how that's possible. And he took a high-sticking minor there. So that is technically a penalty kill or shorthanded goal against. But shout out Janmark. He stood tall. He had 3 points tonight. He was big. The other guy we need to talk about, Stuart Skinner. Brett, 17 of 20 saves on the night. Has an .850 save percentage, as I said. Box score hunters, back off, okay? I don't want to see that because I don't know. I read it on Twitter. To be fair, we were getting ready to do the show here, but I read on Twitter that Stu looked a little frustrated after that last goal. And I mean, hey, when you're in this market and you're the goaltender and people look at your stats like that, I understand the frustration. But regardless, he gets the W, and he did make big saves throughout. He only had 20 shots against him, but he had some big glove saves. I mentioned the one 5 minutes into the game that I was like, oh no, here we go. And we all know about Stuart Skinner's glove hand. I read this chat during the game, so don't think I didn't see some of the stuff you guys were saying. But he did get beat glove side later on the game when I believe that was the Philip Peronic one. I think it was. Overall, Stuart Skinner, yet again, doesn't have a 900 save percentage. He had a 904 of his last 5. But without a doubt, I Test Brett did more than enough to give this team a chance to win. And we said he's been doing this for a number of games so far this season. He just hasn't been getting the goal support, the run support from the Edmonton Oilers. Shocker, you score 7 goals. Stuart Skinner is good enough to get you the W.
Well, and this is prime, where we sit here and go, this is where the box score and analytics doesn't tell the whole story. This is where you need the eye test. And if you sat there and gave anybody who didn't watch that game the analytics sheet or the number sheet, and they would say, hey, how did this goalie play? You'd sit there and go, this team probably lost. He played very well. He made saves that he needed to. He was great. His feet were fantastic. His legs were fantastic in this game tonight. Very quick feet. His glove was working a little bit there in that game as well. He was just, again, very strong post to post. I think that's kind of his biggest thing, is moving post to post. But he looked fine tonight. I think you see what Stu can do in games against important teams, and you win games. Like, it's just, again, I think it's very idiotic when people sit there and just say it's not Stuart Skinner's a bad goalie and all that stuff. You sit there and see the way that he can win you hockey games. Now, was it a 7-3 hockey game at the end of the game? Absolutely. But you also see that frustration.
All I hear is W. All I hear is
Well,
W.
exactly. But you see that frustration in Stuart Skinner after that third goal, because you realize, again, his numbers are going to look kind of ugly in a garbage time goal because we didn't pick up the guy backdoor bouncing around. It's not Skinner's fault. It's a bouncing puck, and it just happens to find a Vancouver Canuck. Like, you're going to get that analytics sheet. You're going to get the score sheet and go, kind of shitty, like not great. But you sit there and actually see the entire game and you go, oh, well, he played pretty well. So just analytic people be damned. Not actually, but you know what I mean.
No, kind of.
Yeah.
No, kind of. No, kind of. I see people in here. Also, Waz says you're a great analyst. Friends picking up friends here.
Thanks, Dad.
So I like that. Yeah, a lot of people. And Rusty says again, don't care what his numbers are. The Oils scored 7, and then Sad comes in here and he says, and tomorrow we have Dante Fabbro. A little bit more on that later, and we'll close the show out with a little discussion about that. Will they? Won't they? I'll be tuned into Twitter tomorrow with 12:01, right when waivers are going to be doing their thing. Let's move now. Let's just get into it. The Greta scoring summary brought to you by Greta Bar. Yag, you know him, you love him. My favorite spot in the city. They got arcades. They got a great bar. They got great street food, man. The food at Greta, there is not much better than some pizza taquitos on a Saturday night. Enjoy a couple cold ones this evening. The game was downtown Vancouver, but there's no reason to not be out downtown Edmonton tonight enjoying a couple cold ones. And go meet the excellent staff at Greta. Brett, we know them very well now. They are just an entire corporation of beauties. And I mean, most bar folk you get are pretty big beauties, but Greta, tenfold.
Shout out Annie. Shout out Phil. They're the
Callum.
best. Yes, there's honestly a long laundry list.
Yeah, it would take too long.
But they're fantastic. They take very good care of you.
They sure do. Yeah, they do me specifically as well. They basically let me move in for 60 days during the NHL playoffs. Let's get it started in here, because Leon Draisaitl cashed my bet, 2 minutes, 48 seconds into the hockey game. You got to like that. How you doing? But this technically does not count as an Edmonton Oilers power play goal. The gods are against us right now because the penalty had just expired, but not much was happening during this power play. It had honestly been a little frustrating. And then Leon Draisaitl, you see it here, pulling. Yeah, give me that again. There it is. Little toe drag magic, one-handed pass back to, I believe it was Matthias Ekholm, who throws that bad boy on net, bangs away everybody down there. And honestly, Leon Draisaitl, you're not going to score many easier goals than that, as he's just standing at the side of the net, pops out right in front of him. We've seen him score from behind the goal line at that angle, so this one was pretty good. I did say to you, Brett, I like that he went top shelf on this, just to really stick it to him. But great start for the Edmonton Oilers here. Is not a power play goal technically, but you know this gave these guys confidence, and that is just disgusting stuff from Leon Draisaitl.
It's so nasty. It's funny because I remember going to the fan skate or whatever it was last year during the before training camp, and you can just see the way that Leon Draisaitl is able to pass the puck, and that's one-handed. He has a guy in his face, and he just go whoop, yep, over to you. About more at 11 here with Matthias Ekholm. Like, it's so impressive. And you sit there and you watch other teams play, and you see the star players, and you're like, it's so good. All that stuff. And then you sit there and see what 97 and 29 can do on a nightly basis. And 90% of the time they're able to do that, and it doesn't result in a goal. We weren't able to pull the Lankinen save, but the move by McDavid that he pulls to get it over to Nuge, and it's just, these guys are consistently able to do so many impressive things.
They're freaks.
Absolutely. And then to toe drag or be able to corral it and roof it that tight, you just sit there and you're amazed by what these two can do.
We're blessed.
Yes.
We're really blessed to get to watch these guys for as long as we have. And oh yeah, is Leon Draisaitl signed for another 8 years? Oh, thank you very much. You're damn right he is. So what, are we going to be watching him until he's 38 years old? I can't think of a better way to spend my 20s and 30s. Me and Leon are the same age. We move now to the second period where fourth line magic, brother. And shout out to Chris Knobloch for this, because before this play, there was an icing. You could have gone McDry. You could have went nuclear in the offensive zone. He decides to keep out the fourth line. And Brett, I don't want to say I predicted this goal, but in the moment, I 100% predicted this goal. I said this fourth line is about to get their cycle game going. Now, it took some dumb luck for this to be able to happen, as they did lose possession, but somehow, some way, on the Brandstrom clearing attempt, he hits the stanchion. It doesn't go out, ends up right on Derek Ryan's stick, who sends it over to Matthias Janmark, who, say what you want about Yanni, I've said it, Tyler continues to say it. There's a reason he sometimes in spurts is called up to play with top six wingers, because he does have hands like this in tight. Corey Perry, you know him. He lives right around that blue paint, presents his stick beautifully, and fourth line, give him some love. I thought they were very good tonight. I thought Derek Ryan had a solid hockey game this evening. He was noticeable throughout, but you're not going to get many of these goals from the fourth line, and to get one tonight when they're all going to matter against a division rival, this was huge, and momentum was rolling. We were smiling here.
Oh, we were pumped at this moment. And it's funny sitting there because you mentioned Janmark and the presence of a guy like Corey Perry. Those are the goals you need to get. Like, it's a pretty goal with the tic-tac-toe, but it's also a greasy kind of play with Corey Perry, how tight he was to the net. He just anchored himself behind Lankinen, almost knowing that he was going to pull himself off of that post and be able to have a tap in. He could have went and had tea before he put that puck into the net. It was those are experienced and greasy type plays that need to be rubbed off on guys like Victor Arvidsson. Got a great goal today. We're going to mention it in a second, but a goal like he could score, a goal like Jeff Skinner needs to score as well. Like, those are smart types of goals that I think other guys can kind of take note from a long, lengthy, grizzled veteran.
Say it all the time. Your boots might slow down with age, but your hands and your IQ and positioning on the ice, that can stay forever. And right now, Corey Perry, you say it almost every single episode now, hand up. I was dead wrong this offseason when I was not thrilled for what you signed for. Frankly, you might be underpaid right now. Also, my buddy Snatches in. He says Leon is underpaid. I mean, hey, you could have given that man a blank check. I would have been fine with whatever he wanted to put on there. We move to the aforementioned Victor Arvidsson goal, 3-0 for the Edmonton Oilers, his second of the season, assisted by Draisaitl and Brett Kulak. Look at that pass breakout from one Brett Kulak. We're going to be singing his praises later on in this show, but another great play from him and Leon Draisaitl. Snatch, you're totally right. He is underpaid because he can make plays like that, shielding off the defender, has this weird European connection going on with Victor Arvidsson right now that he knows he's coming in. And I want to give Arvie his credit, right? Because we talk about how he loves to shoot the puck. Now he's been missing the net through and through this season, but right there, no hesitation. Gets it on his stick, is moving in fast. He's not going to wait for the perfect pass. Sometimes the Oilers, we know, they tend to wait for that perfect play. And here it's simple, snipe it, roof it on Lankinen, 923 save percentage. My ass. This was a beautiful play here from Leon, Victor Arvidsson, and Brett. That breakout pass from Brett Kulak, I could watch this 100 times.
I mean, this is, it's what you need. I consistently say it's what you need, but it's what you need from a defenseman not named Evan Bouchard or Matthias Janmark. It is a marquee puck-moving defenseman type of play from Brett Kulak, who has been probably the Oilers' best defenseman all year. And again, we're going to sing his praises later on, but it's very similar to what I've been praising with Vasily Podkolzin, just being able to get the puck to your star players, your playmakers, the guys who are going to do something with the puck. It's great vision. It's hockey IQ. It's all of those. Like, it's a small seam that he's able to see here when he gets the puck. Look at that. I mean, Draisaitl's coming down right there. So you know that you want to get Leon there, but you know JT Miller is going to be close to that passing lane. And 24, I'm not sure who that is off the top of my head. Neil Zaman, maybe. I'm not sure.
Suter.
Thank you. There we go. That's why I forgot. He scored that
That's why we're a
last
team.
goal. We don't really care. But he's also very much in that passing lane. So then being able to get that pass up off his look at now that passing lane is basically gone. Leon gives him a passing option with that paddle on his massive stick and gets it through. Look how close that was to getting his skate. Perfect pass. Gets a great way to find opening for Victor Arvidsson as well. That is just the types of goals that you expect from the Edmonton Oilers.
You know me. I'm the Brett Kulak guy here at Oilers-Nation, and damn it, I should have grabbed my signed thing from him. I'm also getting another signed thing from him, so I'll be sure to share that with the rest of the class. Matthews says, give Kulak his extension. Damn right, brother. Also, your pal Joe says, I love you, Bordzy. I love this team. Joe, I love you, and I love this team, and I love everybody in this chat as well. Ryan S., Kulak better than Bouchard? Simple, yes, he is. I mean, if we're going statistically, who has 4 goals in the season and who has 3? I don't know. Brett Kulak. No, come on. We're not going to play that game, but Brett Kulak, he's a luxury on this team. More on that later. So everything's going good. Vibes are feeling good. Feeling confident. Brad, I'm going to put a little bit of this on me as well because I turned to you and I made the joke and said, well, shit, let's just start the show now, man. And in my opinion, I think a 3-goal lead, a 3-0 specifically, is the worst one in hockey. Should have saw this coming as Elias Pettersson gets on the board almost immediately after Victor Arvidsson scored. Jake DeBrusk shot the puck. I believe it was here from the point. Yeah, it was Jake the Snake. We knew he was going to get a point this evening, and he throws it EP40 right out in front of the net. Give him credit. That's a good tip. I can't see whose Oilers defenseman that was battling with them. We talked a lot on pre-gaming about how the fall off of Elias Pettersson may need to be studied for future generations because the moment he signed his $92 million ticket, he just completely fell off the face of the earth. Point production wise, it's been going on for a while. He came in only with 5 points in 12 games this season. Now, I did think he looked pretty good tonight, but not $11.6 million a season good here, though. This is it's a goal scorer's goal. You go to the net, you go to the dangerous area, get your stick on it, not blaming Stu, not really blaming anyone here, Bert.
No, I agree. By the way, it was Ekholm, but hate to do it. Don't like what Evan Bouchard's doing on this shift. Just a lot of looking around. Like, pick up a guy. Who are you picking up? Look at
totally in no man's land.
By the time this shot is being taken, he is 6 feet away from the nearest guy. Are you kidding me? Like, pick and Ekholm shouldn't have to be the guy who's coming across to take that guy. That entire process, that entire play, you're not he's in the same circle in between that face-off dot the entire shift. He still hasn't moved. Is that a direct reason why the puck or why he was able to score? No, but that's soft. I just noticed that rewatching that. Very, very soft.
Yeah,
and hey, I hate picking
it's your job, son.
I know it's kicking a dead horse at this point, but you want to get paid like a premier defenseman. A premier defenseman doesn't go between the face-off circles for an entire 45 seconds not picking up a guy. Like, I'm sorry, but that's awful.
No, it absolutely is, man. I see some people in here. Yeah, Percy, he's just floating around, just doing circles. I mean, it is what it is at this point. He's just standing there, says Ryan S. Yeah, your pal Joe. Bouchard needs to sit down with the players, I think. Just talk about what's going on with him. Maybe there's something going on in his personal life, but Brett, we're going to call a quick timeout on the greatest scoring summary because Lance Kane is in the chat with a quick $2 super chat. He says, cup year from Vancouver. Brett, pull it out because we were prepared for this. Shout out to our boy, Lance Kane. One of the many reasons he's one of the favorite people that I know here. This is Lance, and he tweeted, "This is my new friend, Peter. He traveled from Slovakia to watch the Oilers play in Vancouver. He bought a Canucks hat because they didn't have Oilers merch. So I gave him my conference championship hat so he had something." That is why, Lance Kane, you are the OG of the Oilers Nation chat. You are one of my favorite people that I've gotten to meet working here. That is incredible, man. That's what it's all about. The nation citizens. That dude looks happy as all hell. And an excuse to show off your handsome blue hair, Lance. This is awesome. You know I love you. And me and Lance hung out this summer at a punk rock music festival. It was pretty incredible. But Brett, I know you love Lance too. Give him his props. This is fantastic, dude.
Yes, not stereotypical, but it's what brings hockey together. This guy's from Slovakia. Like, this guy's from Kosice or whatever, wherever. That's the first town that came. That might be in Czechia, but this is what hockey's about. He came all the way from Slovakia to watch an Edmonton Oilers hockey game. Meets Lance Kane from Edmonton, and you're able to have this bond. They don't know each other at all.
They'll remember this for the rest of their lives.
Why? Because of a little bit of puck and stick. Like, I love hockey. I love sports. This is what makes me romantic about sports. It's the stuff that I always tell my girlfriend about, of why sports is so important. It brings people together
from all over.
100%. So, Lance, major props to you.
Dick taps in the chat. Dick taps in the chat. All right. Also, cup year. That's right. The biggest point of that was that it is a cup year this season. So that's 3-1 goal. Then it is approximately, minute 59 seconds later, not even 2 minutes, the Canucks score their second goal of the game. Philip Hronek, we watched this one earlier here. This all simply goes to Matthias Janmark. What the hell are you doing here? How is that even possible? He's had an up and down season throughout, and he had an up and down game throughout. Is the high point? What does he have this evening? Yeah, he had 3 apples, right? 3-point night. We've already talked about this one, Brett, so we can just continue to move along. But the point being, Chris Knobloch called a timeout there, and he was able to calm down his troops enough. And then we moved to the third period where things got crazy, and they got crazy fast for the Edmonton Oilers. Connor Brown, it was Brown Mark featuring Rico, as you see Matthias Janmark. There was a little bit of line blending going on in this one, and it worked. Nobby, gold stars throughout the game for this one. The timeout, putting the fourth line in the ozone draw, putting back this line together. I do think by the end of the game, Jeff Skinner kind of looked like he was playing on the fourth line. It is what it is. Why did I bet him to get 1+ point? I couldn't really tell you, but they were working down low here on this goal. Rico, what a feed from him, kind of behind the net, out 2-1 Connor Brown. And, they both bang away. Brownie's able to get it past the goal line. But that feed right there, Brett, right out to Connor Brown. Now, shouts out to Brownie. He took it right off his skate, right into his stick, and he able to keep banging away on it. The first of 2 Connor Brown goals this evening? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, and this is actually stereotypical. Fourth line or third line goal, bottom 6 goal. You're just jamming away. Smart plays. It's a smart pass from Rico out front to get it to the front of the net. Just feed the slot. Somebody might most likely be there. Just keep putting it to the slot. And Connor Brown finding his stride once again. We can say that about a lot of guys in this game, but this is just the goals that you need to get. Connor and Leon will get their Connor and Leon goals. Zach Hyman's going to get his Zach Hyman goals. You need your bottom 6 to get these grindy, grit away, just nose to the grindstone type of goals. That puck did not leave.
Greasier the better.
Yes, 100%. It did not leave the ice surface. It still goes in, still matters. It counts the same. This is a great goal that you get from your bottom 6. I'm a massive fan of it.
Connor Brown's in, says Vancouver is Brown Town tonight. Gonna paint the town brown. Just gonna throw poop everywhere all over the city. Who knows? That city might already be covered in poop. Nope, we'll leave it there. Connor Brown says Brown Mark is a classic. Rich says, to be fair, we kind of have 4 third lines and no real fourth line. Why are you being negative? Why are you being negative on a day like this today? Retract that statement. Delete your own comment. I didn't like that.
I severely disagree with that.
Yeah, statement. I do too. We're not even gonna talk about that. We move to an Edmonton Oilers power play goal. Say it isn't so. Am I dreaming? Pinch me. The Edmonton Oilers, it was a heroic penalty for holding. They win the draw in the offensive zone, and they made quick work of this thing as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. It was scored by McDavid, assisted by Nuge, and one Zach Hyman. Nuge feeds Hyman down low, quickly sends it out to McDavid, and the tides were turning. This was, Brett, we were feeling so good at this point. We hugged. Actually, no, this is where we had the most pathetic high five that we've ever done in our entire lives. And then we had to do it again.
Why'd you have to tell people?
We're an open book. We're in the trust tree. You know this, chat.
Yes, but that was also the whitest thing ever as we also went to reattempt it. And we were both excited to reattempt the high five.
I was giddy with excitement. They don't score power play goals that often this season. And much like the Leon Draisaitl goal for 97, not going to get much easier than that.
Man, it's ugly. And just mentioned, you need goals like that from your bottom six. McDavid and Draisaitl are going to get their McDavid and Draisaitl goals. But McDavid and Draisaitl can get these greasy goals too, and they count just the same too. So yeah, no, it's good because again, we mentioned how many opportunities have we seen from the Edmonton Oilers in the last couple of games where that type of opportunity would be sent off the backboards, and you're like, oh, how does that not go in? Good. Let Connor find the back of the net on a greasy goal. Let Leon Draisaitl find the back of the net on a greasy goal. Let Connor Brown find the back of the net on a greasy goal. I don't care. Let them. It does, as long as they go in. It almost would have been bad if that Nugent Hopkins goal would have went in off Langton.
It's too pretty.
Exactly. You can't. They're in their head too much. They're in their head. Now they see you can score goals going to the dirty areas. Oh wow. Okay, so then why don't we go to the dirty areas, and some of these pretty goals might go in while we're doing that. So yeah, no, it's dirty goals are good, baby. I like dirty.
I like nice. Amanda says, imagine that. They don't have to pass 45 times on the power play to get one. That's a good point. Minecraft light work, no reaction from Davo. And we're wrong. It was a miscommunication. Rich is saying that our third line had 4 combinations between Nuge, Janmark Brown, Perry Rico, Philp. Miscommunication. All right, I'll retract my statement then.
Samesies.
And we can move along. Also, Connor Brown just says, let us cook. Then we move along. It was the Brett Kulak 4th goal of the season for him, assisted by one Connor McDavid and Ty Emberson. So he now just needs 29 more points for my hot take to be accurate this season. I said he was going to record more points in a season than Cody Ceci ever has. It's not dead yet, but it's looking pretty dead at this point. But shout out Brett Kulak. That was also maybe the theme tonight is you're not going to score easier goals. That one was weak on Leakinen, as I believe Maynard pointed out in the chat.
Yep.
This one went 5-hole, didn't even leave the ice, wasn't even shot hard. But once again, Brett Kulak stepping up in the rush. You appreciate it all. He's looking happy and smiling. The Oilers, the floodgates, they're officially open when stuff like that's going on.
Oh, 100%. And you know what? We saw this a lot in this game, especially, but we've seen it a lot in Brett Kulak's game, also, especially as well. Just being able to get below the face-off dots offensively, being able to obviously in this game, in this goal, I should say, he didn't. Well, kind of, he gets the face-off dot there, but just being able to be a little bit more. I wouldn't say it's aggressive, but you're just being.
He's just filling the play out.
I guess
filling
so.
the void.
Yeah, and you saw it with Troy Stetcher was doing it. Ty Emberson was doing it as well in this game. And I like seeing it from the D. It's another dimension to your offense. If your defense can start adding to paddles down low, getting a body in front of the net. We heard, I don't know if you saw Joey Dackert on What Chaos the other day, but he's saying that he wishes that goalies, they change the red line rules. So when there's a delayed penalty, goalies can go and screen in front of the net. I think that'd be pretty cool. But you're getting that new dimension.
Get way more goalie fights.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah.
I'm in, brother.
But you're getting a new dimension from your defenseman being able to go down there and screen the goaltender. You have a new opportunity. You have a new stick in a different lane. You know, you're moving the puck, you're cycling, and we're seeing a lot of that from Oilers defensemen, especially Brett Kulak.
We'll got more on Brett Kulak later, but his offensive awareness right now, his capabilities is something I've never seen. What did somebody just say in the chats? He's going to surpass his career high of 6 goals, I believe, something like that. Tyson Kulak is actually so good, not flashy, just solid. This is what I've been saying for years, man. Now we're all just, and you can hop on. There's plenty of room on the Kulak bandwagon right next to me. Somebody also said they're drinking the Kool-Aid. There's so many puns you can go with. Don't give me that face. That's a good pun. You didn't see Brett furrow his brow behind the camera. We move along. Connor Brown scores his second of the game, assisted by Matthias Janmark. There you see him coming on down. Like, I don't know. As I said, the floodgates are open. Lankinen, he was immediately yanked after this goal. Brett, we had talked before this, like the Kulak one. Felt like it was maybe kind of the time. Now we're like, you might just stick a guy out there and say, hey, survive, live to see another day, and try not to give up too much. Even there, Rick Tocchet was like, all right, I've seen enough. It's time to switch it out. Bring in Shilovs, who also immediately made a big save.
Yeah.
And had flashbacks, like Vietnam flashbacks, back to the first couple games of the second round series last year when Archer Shilovs was crazy. But this one, another goal from Connor Brown. Anything you see here that maybe we haven't already touched on?
Well, you mentioned like pulling Lankinen, and I agree. Like you almost have to ride it out, but it was a mercy pulling at this point. Like it was 4 goals consecutively, really, really quick.
In less than 5 minutes, they scored 4 goals.
Yeah, none of them were great. Like a lot of them were. It just looked like fatigue on Lankinen, and you sit there. And I think if you're Rick Tocchet, hey. Nice. Damn it. That's the best one. Yankinen's been the best one. If you're Rick Tocchet and the rest of the Canucks as well, you know that Kevin Lankinen's kind of been your guy this year. It's okay. He has a bad one. I mean, he's had one regulation
loss.
Exactly. So, it's not on him. They severely got outshot. And again, we mentioned it at the start of the game. Outside of that minute 59, Edmonton dominated this game. So no, again, and I think I'm going a little too long on yanking the opposition's goaltender.
Wrap it up here.
But yeah, no, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Pius Suter, he scores his 5th of the season. We're not even gonna watch that. We're gonna move along as the Oilers win 7-3. Stuart Skinner, as I said, 17 of 20. 17 saves on 20 shots. And then Lankinen, 20 of 27. Not ideal for the Vancouver Canucks goaltender. Let's move now to the good, the bad, the oily, brought to you by Square. If you run a restaurant, you're too busy for this ad. You're thinking about how to get more orders flowing and new locations opening. You need to get more customers and keep them coming back. So really, you're already thinking about Square, because Square Restaurant Tech helps more than 400,000 restaurants do all those things and more. So when you're thinking about your restaurant, think bigger and think Square. Okay, so tonight for the good, we went with a nice and simple third period. I just mentioned they scored 4 goals in under 5 minutes. That was a third period of what dreams are made of. You got 2 from Connor Brown, which, had I told you this last season, you got 2 goals from Connor Brown, you wouldn't have believed me that he had 2 in the entire season, let alone 2 in the same game. You finally got a power play goal, a Connor McDavid power play goal too. Nonetheless, Brett Kulak continues to score. Lankinen looks solid, but it's like the point that we want to make there, Brett, is like, he looks solid for 2 periods, but the Oilers, when they are rolling like that and their offense goes, they are a different animal. They are a different beast. That is an offense that comes at you in waves. Tonight, we were rolling all 4 lines, coming at you every which way. Connor's line was absolutely elite. Leon being physical and finding a way, that European connection with Victor Arvidsson, Rico and Brownmark. They were doing their thing, and obviously the 4th line. But the third period, through and through, best period of the season, yes or no?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. It was the best game of the season, but that third period was, again, goals. It's Brett Kulak's goal. You shoot that basically at the crest, it goes in. Like, you are seeing those goals finally go in. Those shots finally go in. It's encouraging, because now, again, I keep going back to the last 2 games were so sleepy, and now you're able to get all of almost what was tied up, the monkey on the back, the snake bitten venom that you were accumulating in the last 2 games, you are now able to release in this third period, really. And again, like, this is something you can build on. It was not just, a strong 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and you go out and win the game. It was a strong 58 minutes, 57 and a half minutes. And those last 20 minutes were some of the best of those 57 minutes. So now you can go out and build off in the next game and you move on. And I think it's just a very good, not resume builder, but kind of, this isn't college football. You're not building a resume for people to judge. But
I have 2 national championships, by the way, in college football.
Oh, Oregon?
The video game, yes.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I have 3. Sorry, I had an extra one in my ear. No, but no, it's what you want to build off of for this game. It's fantastic. This third period is exactly what you wanted.
Southpaw, great point here. Oilers used to be a third period team. I've mentioned that this season. That remember last year we come out so flat, so sleepy in the first period. We'd be down 3 goals in the third. I'd live bet the comeback because I was so confident in the Oilers too. For better or worse, they got the clutch gene and they know how to perform in those final 20 minutes. So it was nice to see tonight. Final buzzers in. Says Brown has hit his ceiling for the year. Connor Brown's in and says my ceiling is on the moon. I love it. Love a little beef in the chat here. Let's keep it going. With the good comes the bad. And we said a minute 59 in the second period. Really, out of this entire hockey game, it was 58 good minutes. Now, you had 59 good minutes against Vegas, but you didn't come out with 2 points. You did tonight. They had a commanding 3-0 lead. As I said to you, Brett, it's all on me. I will take accountability. I was rambling and talking out of my ass. I was talking too much shit. Shouldn't have been doing that because it came fast. Thank Nobby for calling that timeout. And I know that's your job as a head coach. Maybe you don't give him credit for that, but he's got his finger on the pulse of this team very well. He pulled the strings tonight, but through and through, I was pretty panicked there for that minute 59, being like, oh no, like I've seen this movie before. And sometimes, oh no, did we awake the beast that is the Vancouver Canucks? We saw them last year score 1 million goals in the third period against the Edmonton Oilers in regular season matchups. So I was a little tentative, a little nervous. Obviously the Oilers powered through, but really, let me know in the chat if you have anything else for bad. I see Percy's in. Bad. No local broadcast. Miss Gene and Jack when the Oilers win big. Yeah. What I miss is that when we're up by 5 goals, what are Jack and Louie going to talk about? Yeah. That is totally unrelated to the game at hand, like what they had for dinner, what movie they've seen recently. So that could be bad as well. But Brett, what'd you think? Minute 59, pretty much the only bad part of this hockey game.
Oh, the sphincters were tight. They were tight. Yeah. Because it was funny because you felt good. That 30-0 lead felt good. And it wasn't long. And 3-1, you're sitting there going, okay, well.
They were going to get one.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine. Hey, I got the Jake DeBrusk point on my parlay. Woo, we're good. No, but it was nerve-wracking because, again, you've seen it over and over again. But I didn't see this team giving up 3 consecutive goals. Maybe it was, I don't know, hindsight, whatever. I just did not see this team folding. They were just playing so well. They had a tough stretch for 2 minutes, 30 seconds before and after that goal. And you move on. Like they really dominated outside of it. So was it bad? Yes. Did the sphincters get tight? Yes. They ended up winning the game. Like you said, doesn't matter. It
loose
don't
now,
matter.
Brother. Loose.
Yeah, quite loose now. I'm quite concerned for the rest of the
loose,
show.
I might even say.
Yeah.
Rich is in. He says, bad. I'd still like to see more urgency in our PK, but it's a work in progress and will turn around. Which leads me to the Oily is our special team. So there's a couple different ways to look at this, right? Okay, finally, the Edmonton Oilers score a power play goal, and it's Connor McDavid who does it. I saw Mr. Burns putting the good. Connor McDavid gets his first goal post-injury. Got to feel good about that. As the headspace I was in a week or 2 ago when he slammed into the boards with his left ankle. Didn't think he was be scoring goals on Saturday night against the Vancouver Canucks, but the power play did look good. Like we mentioned the play, Nuge got robbed by Kevin Lankinen on his stick. They had opportunities in the first one. They scored just seconds after the power play ended. So technically, they're not getting rewarded for that power play goal. And the same thing goes for their PK, as Matthias Janmark, one of the most brutal turnovers I've ever seen in your own end there. But if you pull that goal back up, Brett, you can see it where he takes a high sticking penalty as he's going to the front of the net. And seconds before Philip Hronek blasts that past Stuart Skinner, the ref makes the call. So then there it is. Arm goes up, bang, back the net. So technically, this is being counted as a power play goal, I guess, for the Vancouver Canucks. I don't really understand that because we were looking at these replays, me and Brett, and I was like, there's 5 dudes on the ice and the screen doesn't say it's a power play. How is this a power play? You can't do this to the Oilers and their statistics. They need every kill they can possibly get. You can't throw it on. But so that's when you look, right? The stats, yes, they did give up 2 this evening. I do think it was more than that, but it's oily because it's greasy what the NHL did to my boys.
Well, and that's also what I was saying, again, going back to the Stuart Skinner conversation. You sit there and you say, oh, wow, this was a rough game for Stuart Skinner. But
no, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. And you get the penalty kill sheet and you go, oh, wow, rough game for the penalty kill. Well, not really. The second power or penalty kill goal or shorthanded goal for power play goal, whatever the hell you want, you know what I'm saying. It came in garbage time, puck bouncing around. It wasn't a big goal. It is what it is. Nobody really made a mistake. Nobody just cares, really. And that first penalty kill power play goal wasn't on the power play. None of the penalty killers were on the ice. Well, Janmark penalty killers were on the ice.
You'd think he'd know how to clear a puck.
Yeah, exactly. But and that's the thing. Like we go back to the second power play. I know people said that it wasn't the best power play. I really liked the way that they moved the puck around. Is it 45 passes in 2 minutes? Yes, absolutely. Does it seem annoying when the power play isn't shooting the puck? Yes. But then when we sit there and we go, shoot, and then it hits a shin pad and goes out and we go, oh, well, what was that? Well, we all said to shoot 13 seconds ago. Now we see the result of, oh, no, the consequences of my actions. Oh, no way.
I hate those.
I couldn't believe that was going to happen. So you sit there and you see, again, those are 5 of the best power play guys in the entire NHL. I'm going to trust when they see a shooting lane. I'm going to trust when there's a little bit of traffic in front and they can't see. Even if there is traffic in front, you can get a puck to the net and you get a deflection. That's fine. But there's a difference between shooting for a rebound and just shooting to shoot. And I think a lot of times everybody kind of just expects to shoot because you're on the power play. Something's got to happen, right? No, you have more space. You have more time. You have more of an ability.
It's a balance of pucks on net.
100%.
But I'm not going to tell the Oilers how to operate that balance
and create a shooting lane. That's what they're doing. They're creating shooting lanes. They're not waiting for one to open up. They're creating a shooting lane. So is it annoying when you're passing the puck around and you're moving around and it doesn't seem like anything is going on? Sure. But there's a method to it. Trust the madness.
I'll trust some madness. It's been some of the best madness I've ever seen in my entire life the past couple of years. It actually was the all-time greatest madness on the power play a couple of years back. So we believe in him. That'll do it for the good, bad, the oily. Brought to you by Square. Let's now move to our hot and cold performers. Brought to you by Odd Company Nation Beer. They're all over the office. They're right in front of me. They're actually another one next to the couch as well. Brett, it's a Saturday night. Saturday nights are just better with Odd Company Nation Beer. Everyday lager, perfect for the next big game or your go-to lager. Go check them out at their Odd Company locations, 2 of them in the city, or go check out liquorconnect.com and find where you can buy these bad boys at what liquor stores around the city. Also, you can buy them in keg form. You can buy kegs of this. Shockingly, Jay has not bought in the office keg yet. I wonder if that will happen. I'm not gonna hold my breath on that one. Let's move now to our hot performers. And for me, I think you all know who I'm gonna say. It's Brett Kulak through and through. Now, we all know him, right, as the smart, savvy, consistently defensively responsible player that he is. And he is all those things, but he is more than that. His offense lately specifically is starting to show up. Now, I don't know if this is maybe Paul Coffey reaching over him on the bench and saying, hey man, feel free to get up in the play freely, play offensively, and get up in the rush. Because if you've noticed over the last week, 2 weeks here, Brett Kulak is nonstop making plays. He's shooting the puck more. He is providing awesome first breakout passes out of the zone. We showed the small amount of area he had to get that one out to Leon Draisaitl on the Victor Arvidsson goal. Now, do I know how long this offensive outburst will last? Maybe not all season. Do I think he might revert back to more of that responsible guy that he is? Sure. And I'm totally fine with that. But right now, Brett Kulak needs his flowers. He's already seen it in the chat today that he's just playing fantastic. And at $2.75 million a season, that is a luxury that every single other team in the NHL would beg. They'd kill for it to have. And we have this guy. He's been able to cover up Vincent Desharnais mistakes before at points. Ty Emerson, while looking better and more comfortable, I think that has a massive part to do with playing with Brett Kulak, allowing you to play your game. We've seen an uptick in minutes in Brett Kulak recently over the past week or two. He's been playing with Darnell Nurse. It feels like everything we're asking this guy to do, he's doing it and then some, and he needs his love because I've been singing his praises for years, and finally I can say, I told you so. Brett, I'm almost out of breath. I'm almost out of breath there. I'm almost out of breath.
That was incredible. That was incredible. I can't tell if I have a tear or blood rushing to another region. But either way, you're asking my hot performer?
Yeah.
My hot performer is going to be Connor Brown. I almost called him Chris Brown. Connor Brown.
That's a big, don't mess that up.
Whoa. I liked Connor Brown's game today. He broke up a lot of plays in his own end, and also following a really good game against Vegas as well. I think we've seen that bottom six become a little invisible at points in this season, and in a game that they won by, again, scoring from the bottom six. That fourth line got a really pretty goal. Connor Brown was able to save a goal in that Vegas game and then was able to play quite well in this game, get those 2 goals. The eventual game-winning goal, as we can say now, is the 4th goal of the game, was the game winner scored by Connor Brown, and the insurance goal scored by Connor Brown. Garbage time, maybe, but goals are goals. I'm still going with Connor Brown.
Ryan S. pointed out, also, I can't read what Connor Brown said in the chat, but that made me laugh a lot, but I'm not going to read that one out. Where was it? I saw that it was Ryan S. He said, we got a Canucks fan in the chat. The rule is, Chris, you have to throw down your courtesy like and be subscribed, but clearly you are subscribed if you're in the chat. He said Pettersson was elite today. You awake a monster. Dude, I'd hope you awake him. He gets paid $11.6 million a season. For your sake, I hope he is awoken. I don't really know if that is the case. He had 2 points.
You did say, oh, did we awaken EP40?
So he could have. He had 2 points.
Don't pretend that you weren't saying that.
Well, I'm saying that he should be a monster. He
Okay,
gets paid $11.6 million a season.
Yes.
Congratulations, Chris. He scored a goal. He tipped one in. He had 2 shots on net. But no, I love you. Thank you for being in the chat. We're getting fired up now, baby. We're getting fired up now. Thomas is in. Pettersson is awake now. Thanks. Hey, we will see. We'll see you again, I believe, January 13th, like I said. Now, cold performer tonight. You don't want to pick anybody in a game that's 7-3. Brett, I think we're going to pick the same person. One Jeff Skinner.
Oh,
he only played 12 minutes of ice time this evening. I don't know if he got benched. He definitely got demoted, but to play 12 minutes, 17 in a 7-3 blowout, coach didn't like something about your game. I had him to get 1+ points at plus 125. That definitely didn't happen. Brett, you had him to get 3 shots on goal. Sorry to say, that clearly didn't happen. He only had 1 this evening, and he just was not noticeable whatsoever. I honestly thought he probably played 9 minutes the way that this one went. He in the third period did have a couple kind of chances there in the offensive zone. But up until that point, I don't think we mentioned his name once tonight.
Yeah, and not to be that guy, but yeah.
Or we did when we yelled, shoot the puck, I need to make money.
Yeah, exactly. Not to be that guy, ruined the parlay. So thanks, Jeff. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not bringing that into the real world. No, but I don't disagree with you. I do think that wasn't his best game. Has strung a couple together now in a row of just unimpressive games. So not great to see from Jeff Skinner, but he wasn't going to be mine. It was going to be, I hate to do it, but I have to do it. It's going to be number 2. It's going to be Evan Bouchard. And purely, again, I saw too many of these plays where he's just in no
Sunday stroll, brother.
It's like nothing is going on in the brain. It seriously is like it's whistling going on. He's going for a Sunday skate, and you saw this it's
the two monkeys just crashing
100%. And I say this in the kindest way because so often can he go and make something happen, but in the last couple of games, and I just feel like a broken record and so unoriginal in saying that he's just playing so apathetic. I know it's game 15 of the season. I know the Stanley Cup isn't in the building, but please play like you know what's going on. It's just been so often in these last couple of games where he won't engage in a board battle. He won't go into any sort of battle. It's just really apathetic, and I hate seeing it. I really, really hate seeing it, because then you have Matthias Ekholm, who's now being drug out of position and covering for him because the guy's
asked to do a lot on that pairing. One guy
100%.
Literally takes a nap on the ice.
He's being asked to do too much when your partner's not doing what he needs to. Cold performer in a game that's 7-3 to nitpick something. I'm going with Evan Bouchard again, unfortunately.
Southpaw says what I said last time. That's a great word. Apathetic. Play the hits, brother. Play the hits. Rich is in. He says the terrifying part with Bouch is if this carries on, how do we negotiate with him in the summer? It's a very good point, man. He's playing for a contract here, and I think a lot of Oilers fans after the playoffs last year was like, okay, we're looking at double digits for sure. Who knows what that number will be? And right now I'm kind of like, hey, Stan, go sign him to an extension right now because his value might never be lower, because I still believe in Evan Bouchard, but you worry, right? This was the Bouch we saw probably before last season. Then last year we saw it at points, but near the end of the year he did become defensively responsible and all those things, but then snap of the fingers, all of a sudden, we're back to same old Evan Bouchard that we've known in the last couple of years. So it's going to be a little nerve-wracking, but who knows, future Aaron. And frankly, Stan Bowman can deal with that because I'm not paid nearly enough to deal with that. Let's move now to let's talk bets with Bet365. Bordzy's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of Oilers-Nation After Dark. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today and use the code NATION. Brett, what does that spell?
Nation.
Shout out to Bet365. We love them. It's the only place that I place my bets. I may have even done it last year while we had a different gambling company, but Bet365 is here for the long haul. Pull it up here, Brett, and show off that I hit one of these, so at least that's good. The first option this evening, Skinner, 1+ point. He'd have to be on the ice and keep playing for him to do that. That frankly didn't happen this evening. Big fat X on the left one. The middle one, Arvidsson, to get over 2.5 shots on goal. Even money, plus 100. He only had 2 this evening, so I was looking for one more. Maybe had he just hit the net a couple times. But hey, we're not going to complain on a night when you win 7-3 and a night when I hit the juiciest of all the 3 bets. Number 29, Draisaitl, anytime goal, plus 145, cashed almost immediately into this hockey game. So I felt good. A little bit of profit there. Brett, did you make any money this evening on Bet365? I know what your answer is going to be.
No, I wrapped up a wicked 7-leg.
I did believe in it too. It was a good 7-leg.
You know what? And the best part of it is I had all the players to get points that I needed to. DeBrusque, Dry, and I got RV as well. All three got a point. Didn't realize I even needed an RV. Didn't know I pulled that one. Still got it.
When you're hot, you're hot.
When you're hot, you're hot. I needed over 2.5 shots from Skin Dog and Darnell. And what were the other two as well? Edmonton win and something else. I can't remember. Oh, the over. Hammered the over. Duh. Like I said, didn't think it was going to happen, but it did. So, I was quite devastated by 25 and 53 not getting the shots that we expected them to get. I feel like a fool because everything else hit.
See, I feel like a fool because I put 53 in. I had him in the last game, and I was like, well, he was really bad in that game. So why did I think all of a sudden things were just going to turn around? It was 97, really, that I thought he just put his stick on the ice and 97 would hit him for one. Well, we live to see another day. Use Bet365 responsibly. Only bet what you're willing to lose. We do not unit shame here at Oilers Nation After Dark. Got to squeeze in another ad read here for our friends at Alberta Blue Cross. Because if you're planning a trip, make sure you remember to pack travel insurance from our friends at Alberta Blue Cross. Because when you've got Canada's most trusted travel insurance in your back pockets, you can focus on making the right kind of memories while you are away. Visit ab.bluecross.ca/travel for more information. My meaningful moment, we already touched on it in the beginning of this show. I just couldn't wait because I knew Lance was in. It's Lance Kane and what he did for that guy. I think that's an awesome thing that makes the nation, and we are a family regardless of where you are. One thing I should have done this year, Brett, and we were talking about it, was creating a map and putting all the people who watch this show from all the different countries and all the places around. I think it'd be very cool. But Lance Kane, you're one of my favorite in the chat. You are my meaningful moment of the game and of the week because this is as meaningful as it gets. We've also got a couple super chats in the chat. So I think Rich came in. This happens a couple times now. You just put 279 in the chat without actually saying anything in it. But then he came back in right afterwards and he said, have a good night, lads. Great win. Shout out to you, Rich. I feel bad for coming at your take you had earlier when you were trying to compliment the Oilers. I thought you were coming at the Oilers. Sometimes I can't read. Sometimes it's hard for me. Not really. There's really no excuse for that. Brett, have we touched on pretty much everything this evening? Let me know in the chat if there's anything else. PK special teams, goaltenders, they were all good. The only thing left to mention is, pull it up on the screen for me, Bert. For the love of the game, help support Jasper Minor Hockey. Look at these shirts. They're absolutely incredible. They come in different colors, and they come in crew necks and T-shirts, and it's all in support of Jasper Minor Hockey because, as we know, a wildfire devastated the town of Jasper this past summer, destroying 30% of structures. And as they rebuild hockey, it's a vital lifeline for their kids. This season's going to have crazy challenges for them. Rink is out of commission. Players are going to have to travel crazy distances to practice. They're going to have to play over 30 away games in the season and manage with their limited facilities all over the place. Financial burden is heavy just to play minor hockey in general, let alone doing it in this town and after all the things that they lost this past summer. So go to nationgear.ca. You can buy one of these. The proceeds going to help support Jasper Minor Hockey. Shout out to Kennedy. She made these sick-ass logos, and it's for what you see on the screen. It's for the love of the game. It's for the kids. It's around the holiday season right now. It's time to give. He said this way you are helping out cover this Jasper thing that happened, and it's a brutal, horrifying, terrifying thing that happened. And at the same time, selfishly, you can maybe cross off a Christmas gift, okay? You can do two birds stoned at once, is what Ricky would say from Trailer Park Boys. I've been watching Trailer Park Boys lately.
Yeah, no, and just to kind of echo what you're saying, like, I don't think you and I would be here for what minor sports did for us. Like minor sports is the grassroots of the stuff that we all talk about.
That's where you make your friends, your memories on road trips and the hotels, playing Ding Dong Ditch in the hotel.
100%.
Maybe I shouldn't say that,
but yeah, but it's the things that everybody in this chat right now, that is the grassroots of where we all came from, whether it's minor sports that you played at, or you went to go watch your friends play or family play. It's where the love of the sport comes from. And to imagine these kids not being able to share those experiences that you and I have been able to be very, very happy that we experienced, those times on the buses, on the long road trips down,
those are the best memories I have.
100%. And just being able to be in places with your team, your crew, your family. It's really is family. So being able to help and support this just kind of goes a long way into what all brings us together. So yes, I think this is a fantastic cause. Looks beautiful. I ordered one already. I'm excited.
I'm waiting for mine to come in. Shout out Kennedy's. I said those logos are sick.
Oh yeah.
It's a very meaningful thing. And the reason we're doing this is because it's hard for them to fundraise in the town of Jasper, because everything has been devastated. I said 30% of all the structures are down now. So tough time for them. Christmas season, time to give back. There's only one more thing that we need to touch on. It's about one Dante Fabbro.
Ooh.
Could we wake up tomorrow, Brett, and see Dante Fabbro has been claimed by the Edmonton Oilers as he was placed on waivers earlier today? 6 games, no points, 13 minutes time on ice. He's a two-way puck-moving defenseman. Wouldn't say he's very physical or mobile necessarily. Shoots the puck. He likes to take one-timers. He's active. Brett, your thoughts, feelings? He's a right shot defenseman who plays the right side, which I feel like every single team in the NHL covets defensemen like this. He's still young. I believe his cap hit is $2.5 million. Let me stat correct myself after this. I'll throw it to you. Thoughts on Dante Fabbro? Could you see him being claimed by the Edmonton Oilers? We'd find out tomorrow at noon, right?
We would. So, yeah, I could see it.
I'm down for it. I just don't get how the money works.
Yeah, and I think the simple discussion or the simple explanation for it, and again, this is off the top of the dome. You could send down Dermott. You still have the thing is that you would also be going into your accrued cap space. So would Dante Fabbro be worth it? We saw Tyler say on Twitter as well. He thinks that it is. I think that it is. He's a good defenseman. Like I want to say he's a proven good defenseman. He hasn't proved it yet in the NHL, but he major junior guy, not major junior guy, played through junior A hockey, whatever it was. A guy who came through the Canadian hockey legacy dynasty. It's late. I can't think of my words now, but you know what I'm saying.
It's past midnight.
Yeah, came through Hockey Canada. I just think that it's worth giving him a shot. What is he going to do worse than what Troy Stetcher or Ty Emberson have done so far? And I think he's an upgrade on Travis Dermott. So, yeah, why not? Give him a chance.
I think I'm down for it, Matthew, to what I said about how does the money. He says that's the question. Percy, don't know if he's worth it for the Oilers, but I agree with Mistaken Mexican. This is the only hesitancy I would have, right? Need to keep accruing cap for the deadline. This has been the key, the flexibility. Stan Bowman has that weird grin on his face every time he mentions the accrual and what the Oilers can do, like Mr. Burns down there at the trade deadline. And if you bring this guy in, sure, he might be a short-term solution, but if you can accrue enough money that you can make a big long-term solution here, like a Matthias Ekholm type trade, maybe at the deadline, I don't know. That's why I'm happy I am not responsible to make these decisions. If it was as simple as that, I would probably just claim him and bring him in and see what he can do. Most people here in the chat saying they would like him. We are down bad for D.
But couldn't you also trade him?
Fabbro?
Yeah.
I mean, you could, but clearly, I mean, I don't know who's going to trade for him if he's just getting placed on waivers.
Yeah,
today.
I guess so. But a team.
Now, if you turn him around and you make him look real good.
Yeah.
A couple secondary assists to Connor McDavid goals, pad the stats, kick his ass out the door.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll see. Let me know in the chat what you guys think, and we'll have an answer for you on Monday right here on the Oilers Nation YouTube. I believe we are going live. It's a holiday, and we're still going to do it. Tyler and myself. I don't think Liam is going to be around. We'll talk about this game, everything that happened else in the NHL. The Winnipeg Jets, dude. The hell is going on over there? And it's like, my answer is pretty much as simple as one thing. Connor Hellebuck is just insane goaltender. He's my fantasy goalie, and he is incredible. Suck it, Pat. I'm beating you this week, and it's not even close, buddy. You're not even here to defend yourself, but yeah. Anything else, Brett?
No, I just want to say with the Winnipeg Jets, funny enough, I was having this conversation with my Uber driver here today. I think, and not to be the cooling of the Jets guy, kind of typical Winnipeg Jets being quite hot off the top, obviously historically hot. So I'm not, but let's be real, a team that normally fizzles out by the end of the year. I still think that they're going to be one of the top teams going into the playoffs. I don't think that they're going to miss the playoffs or anything drastic like that. I just think they're going to cool down and come back to earth a little bit eventually, but I fun to watch. Enjoy it while it lasts, I think is how I'm trying to put this.
We'll close it out on this from Adam because I don't know what was more incorrect. Liam, it's 12:05, dude. Time for a Miller. Shut this down. So I'm not Liam. I'm Aaron. So you're wrong there. You said it's time for a Miller. We are an Odd Company podcast here. And the third thing, it's always time for an Odd Company beer. I've had a couple of these this evening. Adam, I guess you'll get your wish. You don't have to be up and watching this right now. That's the weird first thing to put in the chat this evening. But I love you. Thank you for your subscription to be in the chat. If you want to do me a favor, throw down a courtesy like on the way out. Oh, yeah, that's the meme for Brett Kulak, that if you can tell your kids one day that back in November 2024, Brett Kulak was second on the Edmonton Oilers in goal scoring. Shout out your Emchuck because he tweeted this meme out. Again, those cans are empty. Yeah, they're empty because I drank them, Maynard. Thank you very much. That's usually how cans work. I love you all. Shout out to Greta Bar-Yeg for the scoring summary. Square for the good, bad, and oily. Odd Company, hot and cold performers, Bet365. Get your Jasper or minor hockey t-shirt at nationgear.ca. And I do believe, Alberta Blue Cross as well. And I believe that is all of it. I love you all. Throw down your courtesy like on the way out, like I said, and have a great weekend. There's football for like 10 hours tomorrow, Brett, because we're overseas, I do believe, in Germany. Let's have a day, everybody. Good night, everybody.